question for you. Do you feel like you're always going through something? Do you feel like you're always suffering? And it's interesting because I talked to someone earlier this week, and she was huffing and puffing about how much she started suffering after the election. I said, oh no, I talked to you last year. You were crazy then too. So let's be clear. The election did not create suffering for you. You were suffering last year, right? Before we even found out Kamala was running, you were on fire last year. So let's talk about what's really going on. And I want to offer a little bit of insight on what I think is going on in the world from a spiritual perspective. Y'all call it how y'all want to see it. But this is what I want to talk about today. So turn your Bible, saints, to Romans 5:3. The Bible says, not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character, and character produces hope. So, if suffering is eventually supposed to make you fight for whatever you want, right? Which is going to create the perseverance. Perseverance creates your character, and character creates hope. If you're just stuck in a cycle of suffering and it has not produced hope, then you're stuck in suffering. And I see a lot of people who are melting and they are going down, down, down. People are dying of preventable medical diseases and, high functioning anxiety, high functioning depression. Y'all already know how I feel about that. But so many people are self-medicating with wine and anti-anxiety meds and, oh, I got ADHD, or, oh, you're just looking for a reason to explain your suffering as opposed to coming up with a solution and understanding why you're suffering. That's what I want to talk about today. I should have warmed y'all up a little bit. Do y'all need me to warm y'all up? Please let me know. Y'all want me to warm y'all up? Or let's just get into it. All right. My question to you is, and I'm going to use 3 quotes. The Bible scripture was the first one because I want to provide some context for where you may be right now and how you can get unstuck and use your awakening as a catalyst to get into alignment with your assignment. Use this adversity to create the awakening standpoint so you can get back to the person that God called you to be. Not who your job says that you are. Not how your career defines you, but the work that you came here to do as spirit. So, my second quote is going to be from James Allen, and As a Man Thinketh, one of my favorite books of all time. James Allen said, suffering is always the effect of wrong thought in some direction. Can y'all hear me? Let me put this microphone up. Suffering is always the effect of wrong thought in some direction. It is an indication that the individual is out of harmony with himself, with the law of his being. The sole and supreme use of suffering is to purify, to burn out all that is useless and impure. Suffering ceases for him who is pure. Okay, let's back it up a little bit. Let's break these sentences down. Suffering is always the effect of wrong thought in some direction. So in order to understand where you are right now, where are you going? What's your vision? What's the overall goal that you have for your life? And if you don't have that, and if you don't know that, that's the problem. Suffering is always the effect of wrong thought in some direction. Well, what's the right thought? What's the direction? Where are you going? What's your divine assignment? That's like if y'all remember anything If you haven't tapped into who you are and not necessarily find your purpose, you came here with it. You came here with your purpose. It was the size of a mustard seed. Suffering is an indication that you're out of alignment with the law of your being. So if your direction that you think your life is supposed to go is based on the environment that you grew up in, and if you grew up in a limited environment, then you think that your potential for your life is limited. And you got a job and you stayed there too long. And now you have defined your whole life based on what your job says that's possible for you, but that's not what God says is possible for you. That has been your habit to define your limitations, your potential based on what your job can give you, not what God can give you. So you've made your job your savior. Oh, Lord. You've made your job your everything, and God is over there in the corner. God says that all things are possible, and you say, well, I can only get what my job says is possible. So, okay, I wasn't supposed to be going there. Let's stick with it. Okay, can y'all hear me on LinkedIn? I think my Wi-Fi is tripping. Y'all give me 30 seconds. We in it. I guess I'm just going to talk to the Instagram people. We're going to have to re-record this because I can see the Instagram peeps. All right. I can see the Instagram peeps. All right. Now, suffering is always the effect of wrong thought or some direction. It is an indication that the individual is out of harmony with himself, with the law of his being. What is the law of your being, right? What did you come here to do? And did you take the first job smoking out of college, out of survival? Yo, I was going to write it this morning, and then I decided not to. Christy Rutherford, all this mouth, all this mouth in the military. Y'all know I didn't belong in the military. Now, I was highly successful. I want to be clear. I'm highly decorated. Highly. Because I'm a champion and I like to win. I didn't belong in the military long term. I was out of alignment with the law of my being. I am a comedian. I like freedom. I'm like a butterfly. I ride unicorns. That personality type does not belong in the military. I was class clown 1988 and 93, the only 2 years that we had superlatives in my high school, and I just wanted to be the funniest person ever. How did a free spirit, I used to do black and white people holding hands out of puff paint. That was me, cornball to the corniest when I was younger. Can't we all just get along? That was my thing. Freedom, joy, skating, right? Laughing, partying, playing spades from South Carolina. How did I end up in the military? Well, they had a scholarship program. I didn't want to go home, and it was a guaranteed job. Boom. Count me in. Y'all paying for me to go to college, and y'all gonna give me a check? Count me in. I actually loved it. Now, did I belong for a career? No. So, did you choose your first job out of survival? Why did you choose your first job? Was it because they offered it to you and you were desperate, or was it because, the Gen Xers, y'all know we get anything, we own it. Why did you choose your job? Was that in alignment with who you wanted to be, or was that in alignment with I graduated, I need to get me a job? Did the profession that you choose be based off of what you wanted to do or what your parents wanted you to do? Because I had clients who were super successful lawyers who were depressed because their parents wanted them to be a lawyer. That's not what they wanted to do. Their parents wanted them to be an engineer. That's not what they wanted to do. Their parents wanted them to be a mechanical engineer. She wanted to be a musician. When she chose being a musician, her dad disowned her. So, did you grow up in an environment where your choices were made for you? Your career path was chosen for you, and now you 35, 40, 50 something, and you're crazy, and you're miserable, and you're suffering, It's because you're out of alignment with the law of your being. That's not what you came here to do. Did you choose a career based off of, I need to do this so I don't have to go back home and live with my family then? And then you got stuck there now talking about security. And you wonder why you're depressed in a 5-bedroom house with quartz countertops, driving a European car, talking about I got high functioning depression. I don't understand it. Talking about the oppression of your people and what your people went through. I wasn't supposed to go there. I'm supposed to act like I got some sense. That's why with my Harvard Business School shirt, I'm going to bring it in, y'all. We're not going to be yelling today. So if your first job was out of survival, the survival then created the lifestyle that we like. The lifestyle over time created the golden handcuffs that you can't leave now. We can't downgrade. And then the golden handcuffs led to security. And all of that over the past 15 to 25 years has created suffering. I can hang up right now. I'm preaching better than y'all clapping. So is it the current thing that has created your suffering, or have you been suffering the whole time and you're looking for something external to yourself to blame, as opposed to owning that you're out of alignment? How did I learn? I fell apart. I lost everything. And I don't know why I have to keep telling my story, but I can wrap it up in 15, 20 seconds. I stayed in the military. It was awesome. I loved it. I love my job. I ain't like the pettiness, but that don't mean that I didn't suffer greatly. I love what I did. I love mentoring people. I love being a leader. I love what I did, but that didn't mean that my soul didn't suffer. So here I am like a Lent Easter bunny, the gold wrapping on the outside with the red bow. You bite my ears off, wasn't nothing on the inside, because I surrendered the law of my being for success. I surrendered who life made me to be who my career made me. That didn't match. And I knew I was in trouble when I was thinking about going to my high school reunion, and the people I went to high school with would have been talking to my coworkers. They had been talking about two different people. I was no longer who God created. I was who life made me. I was no longer the perfection of what God created in his image. I was the carnage of what was left over. But I wanted my money. Let's be clear. I wanted my check. I was 3.5 years away from retirement, and God drugged me out by my ponytail, because I would have died in a year. I would have died chasing security. I would have died. Like, y'all, when these, we got black women dying on stage. Boom. You think they didn't know? They knew. They just didn't know how to stop working and overworking and overexerting. Because it's easy to say what other people should be doing for us. But what you gonna do for yourself? I knew. Y'all, I was in the emergency room every 2 weeks with flu-like symptoms. It felt like my ears were ringing. I felt like a train went in my ear all day, starting when I woke up in the morning. I felt like somebody had their hands on the side of my head and was like squeezing it every day. I had arthritis, anxiety, high blood pressure, stomach issues, back pain, neck pain, what else? I mean, I had 27 medical conditions. I'm limping. I'm 36. I am going to die. I'm having panic attacks. I'm blacking out in meetings. My boss was yelling in my face. Y'all talking about y'all boss yelling. I black out. I wake up. I thank the Lord I am still sitting in this chair. Because I done Wu-Tang and smacked him in the back of the head and go, Wu-Tang, woo! I mean, like, it was crazy. Like, I'm going crazy. When I say mentally deteriorating, but was I mentally deteriorating because of him? Or was I mentally deteriorating because my soul couldn't take it anymore? I was out of alignment for 15, 20 years. I couldn't take it no more. I couldn't take me no more. And the problem with y'all want to leave y'all jobs is where you go, you go. Your job is not the problem. Your current set of haters is not the problem. You're the problem. You're out of alignment. You're out of alignment with your assignment. And you're suffering and you're blaming external circumstances. You're blaming your boss. You're blaming your coworkers. You're blaming, whoever, when really it's just you. So what I want y'all to consider, right, as we're going into the new year, who are you? Not what you do. Who are you? What do you really like to do? What dreams have you left on the table? Where you at? Like Jennifer has to say, where you at? Do you look in the mirror? Do you even recognize yourself in the mirror anymore? I used to look at myself like, I can't stand you. I was successful and shiny, and I lived on a golf course and drove a Camaro, and I was partying in Paris and Vegas and Miami, 9 o'clock in the morning, trying to get me a drink, talking about it's 5 o'clock somewhere. How what a terrible existence. What a terrible existence. That was a success because I got Tiffany Crystal Awards and gold-plated cups with my name engraved on them. Let's be clear. I'm highly decorated, okay? Highly awarded. I'm crazy than 2 left shoes. What's the point? What's the point? So I'm going to read another chapter. Y'all, I promise y'all, I was like, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to be calm and I'm going to talk like a teacher. That ain't my personality. I guess I lied to myself. I ain't lied to y'all. I lied to myself. I tried to wear my hair straight for myself. My environment that I live in don't support this. All right, y'all ready? Say I'm ready. If y'all rocking with me. So this is out of my book, Own Your Ish. I republished Trauma Default to Own Your Ish. Ask me what my books are. I don't know. So we're going to read out of this one. The catalyst for awakening. When your level of growth exceeds your level of understanding, you will start to question the meaning of life. You will wonder, is this it? I thought it would feel better than this. Some of y'all got success. But y'all, we done checked all the boxes. we done ran through all the things they say we couldn't get. We done collected all the ribbons. We might not have got them ribbons in the sack race in the 5th grade, but we got them ribbons at work, baby. Do you hear me? All of them. And you get there, you be like this, man, this can't be it. My life sucked. Yeah, I was successful. I'm Christy Rutherford, the greatest mother to ever do it, right? Her life sucked. My personal life sucked. Successfully, shiny. Personally, I suffered. I couldn't tell nobody. Who cares? Nobody. That's why when y'all try to tell me y'all story, I be like this, man, y'all, you better save yourself. Your family don't care you suffering. Not with your 3 degrees and your quartz countertops. They don't care. No, ma'am. No, sir. They don't care. And it doesn't invalidate your suffering. It's just like, this has to be an inside job. Right? Awakening. All right, so we're going to want my hair curly next time. We're doing too much over here. Awakening, or the desire to be awakened, is when you want to be different, even if you can't articulate it. It's when you want something different, but you don't know what it is. It is your inherent nature to grow and expand, and you may realize that you aren't living in your full potential, and that is no longer acceptable to you. You finally admit that you're miserable with all that you worked hard for and obtained. You feel there is someone calling you. Ooh, wee. Or there's an energy pulling you. You may receive visions or have dreams about a greater life. Even if you don't know what should happen or what your life should feel like, you have a deep knowing that it should be different. No matter how successful you are and the car that you drive and the 1,000 kids that you have and the husband and the wife that you got that you thought would make you happy, You be like, there's something missing. When this happens, your inner being wants to be awakened and take precedence in your life again. Many are called, but the chosen a few. Are you listening, and will you answer the call? Now, there is usually some trauma occurrence that drives the initiative for change. Something typically happens to trigger in your mind, and for a lot of y'all, that was 2020, when you got locked in the house with your choices. When you got locked in the house with your decisions and never paying attention to the SHIT show that you created in your life, you couldn't run from it in 2020. It could be thoughts of suicide, a terminal illness diagnosis, a car accident, or cancer diagnosis. It may be the death of a close friend or a relative. It's something that shakes you to your core and makes you question the true meaning of life. Meditation, stillness, and wanting to heal deep suffering can also create an opening for the spirit to appear. Let me read that again. Meditation, stillness, and wanting to heal deep suffering can also create an opening for the spirit to appear. People either change through inspiration or desperation. Unfortunately, most people change through desperation because change is hard, and it typically takes something traumatic or dramatic to break the script of the story playing in your head. A new script starts playing and is louder than the one that's been playing for years on end. It is a new story that has broken the unconscious psyche and awakened the stirring soul that desires to reemerge. This can happen at any time in your life, so it's never too late. And it feels like a desire to surrender your plan for the plan. So a lot of y'all walk around here talking about y'all bipolar. That's just you trying to get you to agree with you to get on the road to being who you're supposed to be. Oh, I don't know if I can say that again. The two more people that need to agree on this earth are you and you. The spirit who came here to be great and the physical being who's acquiesced their lifestyle, their thoughts, their desires, and everything to fit into this puny human lifestyle when your spirit wants to be greater. You try to get you to wake up so you can touch and agree, and then you can rise to greater. So you can understand that anything is possible. So you can understand that you were designed to be great. So you can understand that you came here to break generational patterns for your family. That you came here and it is your birthright to be rich. That's what this part of you understands. This part right here, this raggedy you, this physical being you, the one who has a litany of excuses and reasons for why you can't do something, who winning? Did you read what God said about you? No weapon formed against me shall prosper. How did the election results change your potential of what's possible for you and your family? How did COVID and the hell that y'all forgot about, because now hell is normal, how did that change what's possible for you? It didn't. Not this you. So are you willing to look in the mirror and say, dang, Christy made me sick. I'm out of alignment. I'm out of alignment with the law of my being. Now, that doesn't mean you have to quit your job and jump out here in these entrepreneurship streets. That's not what I said. So I told you earlier about my client, super successful, highly acclaimed lawyer, right? Super successful. Got laid off, high functioning depression, like just sad, miserable, all this other kind of stuff. Come to find out, she used to be a poet. She forgot. She wanted to be a poet. She used to write poetry. She used to recite poetry. She used to do all these things. She forgot. And then once she started writing poetry again, and a couple other things, we got her in alignment, poof, depression went away. Poof. She could be more present with her son because she's connected with herself. Poof. She got a job with a 40% raise. Poof. That was 2 years ago. This year, she got a $140,000 bonus. So it's like What did you used to do that you no longer do? And all of us have an artistic expression. I'm a baker. Christy Rutherford bakes. I've been to culinary school twice. Professionally trained French pastry chef. Do you hear me? I love to cook. But when I was busy working 80 hours a week trying to prove people wrong, I ain't had time to cook. All I had time to do was prove people wrong. All I had time to do was work to get another degree or a certification to prove them wrong because they said I didn't belong here. So I'm going to give y'all 3 recommendations. 1, be willing to tell the truth before you fall apart. Before you in your brother's house eating Cheez-It snack mix, drinking Ciroc with red berry Ciroc with muscadine juice out of a mason jar, and Cheez-It snack mix and nutty bars while watching Lord of the Rings because Frodo was on the journey. Before you fall apart and lose, I lost everything. When I say everything is one thing to be broke. It's another thing to be bougie and broke. Because I can't, let me stop. I'm about to go down this line of questioning. Well, I got to eat Little Caesar's pizza. I can eat, for $5, I can get a cheese pizza, and I got 4 meals. Like, I'm doing broke stuff. I was bougie. Hello, I was a 6-figure earner. I had nothing, no money. I got to eat white eggs. I was looking at eggs the other day. Like, I'm going to need these eggs I want my eggs to come from Happy Chickens. Okay? Brown eggs that are organic, that are grain fed, no antibiotics, no GMOs, no nothing. And I want them to be out in 50 feet. They got 50 feet to go right now. I'm checking these eggs. But when you ain't got no money, I got to eat white eggs that I don't know what them chickens been fed. I don't know if these chickens are walking around the size of turkeys because they got hormones that are pumped into them. You can't ask your family questions when you ain't got no money. You can't ask your Southern family no questions when you don't have no money. Talk about where these eggs come from. Are these Happy Chickens? Are these eggs grass fed, or are they eating freaking, I don't know, cow manure or something? You gotta ask them questions. You better eat these eggs and shut up. Now, I probably went too far on that, but I don't care. So that's number 1. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Change before life makes you change. That's number 2. Because I'm researching now, because I'm now starting to talk about burnout. I mean, y'all, I've been talking about burnout forever, but now I ain't more corporate. I got to bring y'all the language, right? It's 12 stages of burnout. Stage 12 is when you mentally and physically collapse. And I'm mentally and physically collapsed. And so I see a lot of y'all talking about, I'm burning out. No, burnout. I guess that's why there is 12 stages. A mental collapse is like, y'all know how an accordion has it has a frame and it extends in and out with the air. Mental collapse is when the accordion breaks. Ain't nothing. Y'all, all the wires popped out. No juice, no in and out. I could not talk for a year. All this mouth been getting wrote up in class since the 1st grade. Chris is a good student, but she talks too much. All this mouth could not talk. I could not create a sentence for a year. And burnout has become so common, and women laugh about it. Okay, why does light just go out? Women laugh about it like it's funny. I don't think nothing funny about it. What you laughing for? Right? Like, it's become comedy relief. Everybody laughing. Now I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna hang up. I talked to a woman who says she's a 3-time burnout survivor. What? Wait, you went burnout as a badge of honor? What is you competition that I'm willing to engage you in. Y'all are like measuring burnout results like y'all used to do y'all awards at work. It's now funny. 3-time burnout survivor. What did you not learn, ma'am? Hello? What? Because I tell you what, I never end up in my brother's house again. Never. Ever. That ain't gonna happen. So y'all talking about all the stuff that's going on in the world, I don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all talking about the next time we put on LinkedIn that your black women are not okay? No, that's you. I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't know what y'all reading that say I'm gonna lose ever. I don't know what y'all saying that say we gonna suffer. No, you gonna suffer unless you do something about it. Because everybody's not suffering. Right? I don't know what y'all talking about. All this, everybody going crazy. When I say I have no clue what y'all talking about, I have no idea what y'all talking about. My mom yesterday was telling me about the snow in New York. I was like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't watch the news. What, they got 5 feet of snow, huh? I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm minding my business. And I'm in alignment with the law of my being to do what I came here to do. I can't do that distracted. I can't do that in pain. And I can't do that worried about what's going on in the world. I worry about what's going on in my house. And I'm not saying that I'm not here to impact the world, because I am. But in order for me to be happy, healthy, whole, and act like I got some sense, I have to be able to manage what I allow into my mind. And that's maybe that'll be my podcast for the next one of some other tips. But the first thing is I want you to ask yourself, are you in alignment with the law of your being? The second thing is, did you choose your job because you love it, or did you choose it out of survival and now you're suffering? And it's not your current set of haters that's making you suffer. It's you're out of alignment. And then the third part is, what do you really want to do? Not what looks shiny because Instagram say you're gonna be rich, because they lying. Not what the people on TikTok say you do. You write a book, you make $100,000 in a year, you can quit your job. They lying. Not the people who wrote their sales page with ChatGPT, they gonna take your money, they're not gonna deliver because they don't know what they're talking about. They lying. I want you to get clear on what are you here for, and what's gonna make you happy. Period. What is the artistic expression of yourself, whether it's sewing or writing or journaling or playing an instrument, or if you're on a dance team, or whatever it is, embroidery, knitting, art, I don't know, clay. What is your artistic expression? Get back to that. Give yourself the gift of that for Christmas and start to reconnect with who God created you to be, and not continue to be comfortable being the carnage of what's left of him and her. Y'all take care. Oh, before I end, I ain't got no call to action. Y'all can join me for my event tomorrow, SalaryIncreaseSecrets.com. We'll be breaking some of the stuff down, but I have this book coming out next year. Maybe let's talk about the end of the year. Then I'm gonna hang up for real. We publishing 2 books for the end of the year. What you gonna do before the end of the year? What you got? 90 Days to Burnout Recovery. We're gonna launch that in January, and then also the Self-Reliant Leader. 2 books before the end of the year. What you got to do? I think the main thing that I want you to do with this urgency of me trying to get these books done is think about what's gonna make you happy. And once you find that, your life will never be the same for the best. Bye, y'all.